Hi traders, welcome to the weekly Forex overview offered by Admiral Markets. My name is Chris and today's overview of course focused on the majors euro dollar, pound dollar and dollar yen. First of all though, before we dive into the charts, be aware that this video is shown to a global audience but may not be suitable for everyone. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence and contact an appropriate entity to find out if this video is suitable for you. And also please note that trading for exchange and global financial markets in general are considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this webinar, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. I want to start with the pound dollar. This is the daily chart, and of course pound dollar is in an uptrend. When we're looking at this graph, we can see that clearly when price bounced off this trend line, making higher highs and higher lows, and price recently bounced twice at this trend line here mid-February and just recently actually a few days ago. However, the bullish bounce, although it is looking interesting because the price is making some good speed to the upside, it is retesting this resistance trend line, and a few pips away from here price will be at a confluence of resistance with the trend line and the R1 weekly pivot point at around 140.50, 140.75. So a break above that particular resistance zone should see a breakout continuation to the R2 and probably I would say a continuation up to the R3 at 142.50, which of course is a quarter level, and on top of that the previous top. So whether price will bounce there or break, of course that's the next question. If price, there's also a Keltner channel by the way, so if price closes above the Keltner channel, closes above 142, then I would say a breakout is possible. Look at this candle right here, look at this candle right here, but it's not always the case. We had a break of course above Keltner here and we had some retracement before the trend continued. So, but in any case, a failure for price to close near the highs here could indicate weakness. So yes, breakout, I think a bullish breakout is looking pretty likely at this moment, but the R1 still needs to be broken and there's space up to 142.50. Now if price were to break below the S1, there could be a bearish breakout down to S3 in fact, but that at this moment does not seem too likely. Let's zoom into the 4-hour chart. You can see that price retested important support zones a couple of times, bounced at those levels, and now is retesting the Keltner and R1 of the 4-hour chart plus this trend line. So I wouldn't be surprised if price maybe makes a little bit of retracement here, perhaps some kind of bull flag pattern for instance like this. And if it does make a bull flag pattern and then breaks above that flag, that could be the breakout that I'm looking for on the daily chart, but it could also be a breakout on the 4-hour chart in fact, as price makes this upside. So a little bit of a flag here would be nice to indicate that price is respecting the resistance, but then the break is a clear break probably, and if we get a good 4-hour candle pushing above it, that should indicate that a false break is not happening and a good breakout is likely in my view. If of course price starts to hit this zone and then starts to fall quickly, then I would be on guard and I'm looking for continuation of this triangle pattern, and eventually I would expect price to break the triangle to the upside or to the downside as I already mentioned before. So if you're interested by the way in downloading and testing the Keltner channel or these pivot points from Admiral Markets, you can download the Supreme Edition for free, and there are plenty of extra indicators and tools besides these couple of the mini terminal that you see here on the chart. Actually there's 60 plus in total, and you can try that out for free. Before we take a look at the euro dollar and dollar yen, these webinars are coming up for the week. Monday of course and Wednesday live trading sessions with Nene. Tuesday and Wednesday I take a look at the charts as well, and Thursday we have an educational webinar of course as always, taking a look at Andrew's pitchfork this time, plus real-time trading ideas in the morning around 10 a.m. GMT time, 10-15 minutes there, a short webinar with some trading ideas, so check that out as well. Alright, next on the list is the euro dollar daily chart, looking at basically price test this support zone right here, and I think that if price does make it a little bit lower down to about 122.25, that could be a bouncing spot at around the S1. Alternatively, if price does break above the weekly pivot point, I see space up to not only the R1 but basically the R2, which is the 125 round level, but also previous resistance levels that have stopped price from moving higher. It's about a triple top, as you can see, at around the R2 and 125 and the Keltner channel. So that's a strong resistance zone. So a break above the weekly pivot point, I think, is a good opportunity, a good likelihood, I should say, that price could make it up to the R2. That would require, of course, price to first of all break above the R1, which seems pretty likely to me. So for the moment, good space to the upside. Now, if I'm wrong and this is a wave 1 and this is a wave 2 rather than a bullish uptrend continuation, then price would still have the opportunity to retest the 78.6 fib, for instance. That could be very likely at about 124.90. For the moment, though, I think that upside is more likely. I think that this is correct, finishing a correction, finishing a wave 4, that this was a wave 3, and that this could be the start of a wave 5. So a break above the weekly pivot point could indicate the start of that wave 5, or of course if price makes that small little dash down to the S1, that could complete the wave 4 a little bit lower before making that wave 5 higher. Now if price does break below 122, then a bearish wave 4 and a bullish wave 5 is starting to become a little bit less likely, all right? Because in that case, price is apparently continuing with the downtrend, and that uptrend that I'm expecting is not taking place. For the moment, though, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think is the most likely wave pattern. So let's go down to the 4-hour chart, and you can see that price is kind of making a triangle as we speak right now. So if that triangle breaks to the downside, S1 would be the next bouncing spot. If price breaks above the weekly pivot point and the triangle, then I think there could be that breakout to the upside with the euro dollar. Next on the list is the dollar yen, and the dollar yen I think could be quite similar. That's the wrong template. Could be quite similar to the euro dollar. I think that this could also be a wave 4 and a wave 5, and for the moment price is breaking below this kind of support zone right here. So there's a good chance that price might make that dash to the downside now. Whether price will actually break through the S1 and this bottom, of course, remains still to be seen. But I think for the moment, it's still pretty likely. There's no divergence between these bottoms. So I think one more lower low is not that, would not be that strange. S2 could be a good target, about 105 round level as well, by the way, and could create the lower low. So for the moment, not much space left. And the price has already moved quite a distance from this turning spot. This could be a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as I already mentioned before, like this. But if it does break above, I would say, the weekly pivot point there and break above these tops, then it could also be a bigger correction. This could be an A, B, C like this, and there could be a rally to the R1 and to the R2, although that is still counter trend. For the moment, though, looking bearish, I don't see any particular extra info that I want to add. Maybe on the 1-hour chart, I guess price is still at a potential bouncing spot like this, so it might make it still a little bit of a rally and then turn at the weekly pivot point for that last push down. That could happen like this, and then down to the S1 and maybe to the S2. All right, at this point, or it would break, pull back, and perhaps continue like this. Break, pull back, and continue is also a potential scenario on the dollar yen for this week. All right, more free analysis, of course, and education at atomarmarkets.com. Of course, you can also try out an account there, and you can download the Supreme Edition plugin with those extra features and tools and indicators. Wish you all very good trading, and see you soon. Cheers.